Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars. But today I'm going to be doing a quick review about a brand new thriller starring John David Washington, set to hit Netflix on Friday. It's Beckett. Beckett ultimately follows Beckett, a man touring Greece, when he is unexpectedly thrown into a political conspiracy after a horrific accident, leaving him running for his life, hoping to make it to the U.S. Embassy before it's too late. And I gotta be honest, I don't think there's ever been a single performance by John David Washington that hasn't impressed me. He knows how to pick out a role, and the same can be said about Beckett, which is essentially just a modern retelling of The Fugitive. I mean, now the best thing that I can tell you about that is not to compare the two, if you can. I mean, it's probably going to be hard because they definitely have a lot of similarities, and if you compare them, you'll inevitably be spoiled because The Fugitive is a near-perfect and even iconic thriller, while Beckett is simply a pretty good thriller. John David is no Harrison Ford, and the cop that's tracking him down is definitely no Tommy Lee Jones. However, if you can look past that and look at it objectively, I think you can really get into this movie, especially when it comes down to the political conspiracy aspect, which serves as the mystery angle of the film, as well as the heart, actually. Because it's more than just this one guy fighting for his life. There's also something to do with a kidnapping there that he feels like he also needs to fix. That's really the secret ingredient when it comes down to Beckett. The politics, which were honestly something that I never thought I'd actually care that much about, especially because the way the movie begins, it's not really focusing that much on politics whatsoever. But as the film continues on, the more it starts to dive into the politics. Also, the filming location of Greece serves as a very interesting and different backdrop than what you typically find for a film like this, so that's really nice. But honestly, the biggest thing with this film is just the fact that it's all about the thrills and the entertainment factor above all else. And that's something that I think it easily achieved. On the flip side though, or the negatives, I just think that certain aspects of the film feel a little bit empty, like with the characters. Nobody really has that many characteristics here that set them apart from everybody else. I mean, they're all simply people. I mean, in a way that's obviously going to help any audience member step into their shoes, but in the same breath, it also means that most of the characters on their own, on paper, are somewhat forgettable at the end of the day, which is just unfortunate. The action is good, the thrills are even better, and I especially loved how vulnerable they made this character. He is no superhero. This dude takes a serious beating. So that's good, as he really is just supposed to be a tourist. But he's also sort of flat because he doesn't really have that much history associated with him. I mean, you know basically one thing about him, which I won't spoil right off the bat. But that's the only thing you really do know about him. Let's go ahead and break down my final score. From an unbiased technical perspective, I think that this is a well-shot and fair-acted film. The filming location of Greece serves as potentially the best place for a film like this to take place, and it paints a perfect canvas for the setting. But if I were also honest, I don't think the film is very original, nor do I think that there's much to talk about with the casting, as I don't immediately feel like anybody here specifically feels born to play their role. This score is just fair at 66%. My bias score is a little bit higher simply because this movie is trying to entertain you above all else, and entertained I certainly was, but I'll also admit that this is no masterpiece. It's just a pretty fun thriller, and one of the better fugitive films that I've seen in a long while. This score is pretty decent at 78%, and when we average out the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 72%. 72 out of 100 possible stars, or a B- letter grade. Guys, have you seen Beckett? If you have, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1 critic that I go to when I need a movie.